People, anything and anyone causing a ripple in the community. And now, let's dive in to the Splash Live.
Good morning and welcome to the Splash Live, Greater West Bloomfield's daily news and talk show each and every morning, live at 8:30. I'm Tyler Kieft alongside Dave Scott. You can find us all throughout the community on cable television, on Comcast Channel 15, as well as on AT&T Channel 99. Find us on the web as well on CivicCenterTV.com. Just go to our Watch Live page to watch us live in high definition. You can also find us on social media, on Facebook at Civic Center TV 15 and on YouTube at Civic Center TV. While you're driving around into work this morning, you can also find us on the radio, 89.3 Lakes FM. That's the place to go for all your latest news and updates around town. Let's get those updates and the latest news from Dave Scott. Dave.
Well, Tyler, thank you very much. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us here on Civic Center TV and the Splash Live. Our news, Tyler, is a little bit different than the other news. I don't think anybody else would headline with their favorite rock band of all time coming to LCA, but that is one of our headlines for today. Is the Eagles are coming to Detroit. They say this is going to be the last tour ever for the Eagles, and I kind of believe it. They're older than I am, and the tickets go on sale tomorrow at 10 o'clock tomorrow. On the show tomorrow, not today, but on the show tomorrow, we're going to talk about your best strategies for getting those tickets while you're waiting in line online. It's the old guy's equivalent to the Britney Spears experience, and the tickets are just as expensive. Kego Independence Day fireworks have been delayed. They're going to be happening on the 4th of August and the 4th of July, 4th of August. Makes sense. Orchard Lake Fine Art Show is coming up in a couple of weeks, one of the greatest events we have here in West Bloomfield. Show organizer Patty Narozny joins us on the show to talk all about it. We love West Bloomfield, so does LittleGuide Detroit. They have called the West Bloomfield Library one of the best in the Detroit area. We know that's true, and thank you for the nod. We'll talk more about that today. Temple Israel on Thursday, one of the busiest days there. You would think that Temple Israel would be really busy on Friday evening and Saturday morning. As busy as it is then, it's even busier on Thursdays. There's food pickup, and that is one of our stories today, talking about the incredible job that area organizations are doing to keep people fed, including to find people in Temple Israel. If you're driving around the construction zone this morning in the Kegel Harbor area, be aware that don't drive through the community. Officials have posted signs, and in addition, there are rules now that say if you cut through the communities, try to get around the construction, you will get a ticket. Oakland County Health is testing wastewater in our area for polio. More on that. Still Sunset Concerts happened tonight. That is a very fancy name for concerts going on in Sylvan Lake. Oakland County Fair continues this evening as well. And West Bloomfield High School senior Jamir Benjamin, says he is going to stay committed to Northwestern. Now, Mr. Benjamin is one of the most talented players in the Lakers. Didn't commit to Michigan State, didn't commit to Michigan. He's going to Northwestern. There was a big turmoil at Northwestern with a coaching change there. And Tyler, Jamir Benjamin, who is an amazing corner and one of the best defensive players on our team this year, saying he's still committed. He said, darn it all, I made a commitment. I know it's changing out there, but I'm going to stick with my commitment. We like that. And we've got more on that this morning. Just some of the stories that we are watching for you this morning on the Splash Live. We're going to take a break. We'll be back in a moment. When we return, we'll dive into all this in greater detail. Good morning. Thank you very much for watching us. He's Tyler Kieft. I'm Dave Scott. You are who you are. This is the Splash Live, and we'll be right back.
We'll be right back with the Splash Live.
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Can birds draw pictures?
I don't have an answer for that.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look, Wondering what to say to someone who's been sexually assaulted or abused?
I believe you. I'm so sorry this happened.
It's not your fault.
Confidential and anonymous help is available at the Michigan Sexual Assault Hotline. Connect with us 24/7. Call 855-VOICES-4 or text 1-866-238-1454 for help. Learn more at michigan.gov/voices4.
Like what you see? Beautiful works of art, masterworks of metal, and accomplishments of artistry will be on display near you. All kinds of artists from all walks of life come together to celebrate their skill and appreciate their work's beauty. HotWorks presents the 2023 Orchard Lake Fine Art Show. Stop by July 29th and 30th between 2 and 10 p.m. between Powers and Daly off of Orchard Lake Road. And now, back to the Splash, live.
Welcome back to the Splash Live, Greater West Bloomfield's live daily news and talk show. I'm Tyler Kieft alongside Dave Scott. Before we get into today's biggest stories, let's talk about what's going on outdoors as you're heading into work this morning and all around town today. Currently 60 degrees as we begin our program this morning. High today 77 and a low, much cooler night 58 degrees. Tomorrow going to be a warm up 84 degrees is your high, 67 your low, and Saturday to begin your weekend 77 the high and 64 degrees the low, Dave. So weather outside going to be a little bit of a mixed bag over the next few days, but no matter what the weather, plenty of great places to recreate here in the Oakland County area and get out of the weather, whether it's too hot or maybe even too rainy.
Well, no question about it. In Oakland County and West Bloomfield and many of our other communities have these amazing picnic shelters. And if you've not taken advantage of them, it really is a great idea. I don't know about you, but having, 30, 40, 50 people in my backyard, yeah, you can do it. Line up all the cars down on the street and your neighbors go, well, so what kind of a party Dave Scott having today? Why not just go to one of the Oakland County parks or go to one of the West Bloomfield parks where we have incredible shelters? I saw a post on Facebook this morning, Tyler, that the Lakes Area Chamber of Commerce did just that yesterday, and they had a great outing at one of the West Bloomfield parks. So you can do the same thing. These shelters are amazing. They got all the barbecue stuff. There's lots of land around all of these shelters. And when we have a weekend like this where there might be a little bit of rain, then why not? So to get more information and find out about the Oakland County picnic shelters, all you need to do is go to this QR code that we'll put up on your screen right now. We'll leave it there for a minute. You can take your phone, scan that. That'll take you to the Oakland County page. And the West Bloomfield page, super easy to find. Just go to West Bloomfield Parks and wbparks.com, and then you'll find all that information easily inside of their very, very effective website. So as you're working on your fun for the next couple of days, why not consider one of those? Now, Tyler, I love a good camp out, getting together with friends. But when the Eagles come to town, I mean, oh my goodness, this is going to be an absolutely terrific concert. We're going to talk about it in greater detail on tomorrow's show as we head into the weekend. The concert isn't until October at LCA. But as I think of all the legendary bands, the Rolling Stones and the Beatles and, on and on and on, we're not going to see the Beatles unless we have some AI solution to that. But but the Eagles are really, they hold a special place in all of our hearts, and they, hit after hit after hit. And Glenn Fry, of course, no longer with us, but a Royal Oak connection to this band as well. Don Henley, Glenn Fry, amazing songwriters, amazing performers. Add all the other people in that band, Timothy B. Schmidt, Joe Walsh in there. You just take Joe Walsh and his own library of stuff, apart from the things he's done.
Looks like we've lost Dave's mic. Just a moment. We'll get that all adjusted. But yeah, to continue on with what Dave's saying, this is a band full of legends who had successful careers on the solo side, both Glenn Fry and Don Henley, the late Glenn Fry and Don Henley also having great solo careers. Same goes for Joe Walsh, one of the guitarists for the band, and also member of other great bands that have had historic runs too, like the James Gang. And you bring in some familial connections as well. Deacon Fry, Glenn Fry's son, has been with the band over the years, on and off. He was with the band with his father for a little while, and then after the passing of his father, joined the band as a permanent regular member. Had temporarily left to put his music career aside, but going to be, from all indications, a part of this final concert run for the Eagles. And then you just talk about the other members of the band too. Timothy B. Schmidt, who came in a little bit later in their run, but is a well-known musician for Eagles as well. And they always generate a lot of buzz. Whenever you get these big bands, these big time artists that are coming back into town, especially like Dave said, they're getting a little bit older. They're definitely going to be on, if this isn't their actual final run, their actual finale, as a band and a touring band of artists, it's certainly going to be one of their last ones. And so that's why there's even more excitement around that. As I can hear in my ear, we got Dave Scott back with us. That excitement just amounting over time, because like you said, Dave, this could be the last time we see Eagles touring in their full band lineup, because of their age and because touring is a grind in and of itself.
It is, but they've done a really good job with it. They make a tremendous amount of money. We can segue to that. Sorry about the microphone issue. My batteries died. We'll put that on the checklist of things to make sure are working before we go on the air next time. But Tyler, these tickets, as we get ready for tomorrow, they're going to be over $1,000 for the good seats. And that's crazy. So tomorrow, rather than taking more time right now, let's take a break so I can just get myself all reset here. But tomorrow, we will talk about this. I'm going to get one of our friends from the music industry to join us and have a further discussion about tickets, ticket prices, and most importantly, if you do want to get these tickets, what is it that you need to do online to be able to have your best shot? Because everyone's going to be competing for these tickets online. All right, we're going to take a quick break, get everything situated with my audio, and I'll be right back along with Tyler with more. Good morning. Thank you for watching. This is the Splash Live, and we'll be back in a moment.
We'll be right back with the Splash Live.
I don't know why you're so sad. You've got a roof over your head.
You gotta stop with that depression stuff. That's what white people think.
You all right? It just feels like it's coming from everywhere. Do you want to talk about it?
You can talk to me if you're feeling sad.
Whenever you need to talk, I'm here, okay?
Watch Civic Center TV with our brand new live captions. To turn on live captions, go to civiccentertv.com and click Watch Live. In your web browser, click on the Options tab in the top right and find the Accessibilities tab. Then just switch on live captions to heighten your enjoyment of our local programming. Thank you so much for watching Civic Center TV. And now, back to the Splash Live.
Oh, good morning and welcome to the Splash Live. Dave Scott, Tyler Kieft. So, Tyler, 4th of July fireworks, they were canceled, I think, in part because of weather and in part because of the smoke from Canada was creating all kinds of problems. And I think rightfully so. Folks in Keego Harbor said, hey, look, we don't want to contribute more to the air alerts and air emergencies that we've been having already. So the 4th of July fireworks for Keego Harbor are going to be happening on the 4th of August.
Yeah, they have rescheduled this show to be in August. It's going to still be on Cass Lake. It's still going to be the same show that was scheduled for July. It's just going to happen a little bit later, and you can get involved as well. Donations. This is a grassroots planned fireworks show, but it is done using professionals. So it does come with a cost, but it's all organized by your neighbors, as you can see on the screen. You can mail checks payable to Cass Lake Fireworks Incorporated at the address that's on your screen. You can also provide donations from your cell phone, from your computer via Venmo at Cass Lake Fireworks, and PayPal using their email, castlakefireworksinc@gmail.com. That is also the email you can use to get in contact with them, ask them some questions about the show, or if you want to get involved in planning in the future, another way to get in contact with the team over there as we continue to work to get in contact with them as well and try to get some more details on this upcoming show on the Splash Live very soon.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. We look forward to it. And we have all intentions of broadcasting these fireworks live. I don't think over the history of Civic Center TV, we have broadcast a fireworks show live. So this should be a lot of fun. We're looking forward to putting all the details together. And again, if it means we have to get out on staff member Ken Cooper's pontoon boat in the middle of Cass Lake to be able to shoot all this, whatever the sacrifices we'll have to make for that Friday, because listen, we're a hardworking crew, right? If we have to all get out on a pontoon boat on Cass Lake Friday afternoon and evening, we are committed to doing it to cover the community. To cover the community. Should be a lot of fun, though. I'm looking forward to it, and it will be nice to have another fireworks display. A little bit delayed, but coming up in August. Do mark your calendar. So, Tyler, one of the great things about our job here is we have the great opportunity and pleasure to cover so many good stories here in our community. And we know we have a fantastic library. Certainly, our library has been recognized by all kinds of people. But today we see that LittleGuide Detroit, which is an amazing website. We'll talk about it in a minute. LittleGuide Detroit calls West Bloomfield Library one of the best in Detroit. From Facebook, they say the Children's Department of the West Bloomfield Library is one of the best in Metro Detroit. You can enter through the dedicated youth services entrance and let the fun begin. It's loaded with a great selections of books, forward-facing displays, a number of other services, as you can see in some of the pictures there, Tyler. Just talk a little bit, Tyler, if you will, about the library and what a friendly, welcoming place it is for everybody, but as LittleGuide Detroit says, especially for the young ones.
Yeah, it really has a great selection for people of all different ages, and they aptly put it correctly. You walk through the dedicated youth services entrance, and the fun really begins there. I remember growing up in the community, going to the West Bloomfield Public Library, and most kids aren't going to be enthused about going to the library with their grandparents. They're going to say, "Oh, Grandma, Grandpa, this is going to be so boring. I don't want to go out on the town and read." But they have so many different services, so many different games you can play, activity spaces. It's really fun for the kids, and so many great programs too, all throughout the year, during the school year, during the summer, to continue that education, but also make it engaging and make it fun. And then, Dave, on top of the youth services, you have all the other services that are provided to the community, whether it be discussions about historical or book historical nature or books or other events that may happen in the library and some of their meeting rooms. You can hold your own meetings there. You can study there. It's a great place. I know a lot of local students that take classes over the summer. I did that back when I was taking classes at Oakland Community College over the summer when I was in college. It's a great place to go, a nice quiet environment, relaxing environment that you can do a lot of learning and have a lot of fun also at our local library.
And I head over to the Civic Center complex. Our studios are right next door. So we're there all the time for meetings and the business that we do. And, when I drive into the complex, I look over and I say, well, what's going on here today? The parking lot over by the library is packed. Why is Parks and Rec have a meeting? Is there some special meeting at Town Hall I didn't know about? And quite often it's just people going to the library. And, I agree with what your comment a little earlier, a moment or two ago, saying, come on, let's be honest here. This may be a little media spin and we're promoting the library here. What kid would really want to go to the library in the middle of the summer when they can go out and go swimming or fishing or play with the kids or ride their bike? But, this library is not like the library that we had when we were kids. I think of the old West Bloomfield Township Library. Some of you, people of my generation might remember. They did a great job. It was a building right across, building still there right across the street from the West Bloomfield High School. And, but, there wasn't any of this cool, really. I mean, put those pictures back up again, Jared. We didn't have we didn't have that. I mean, if we had that and I was a kid, are you kidding? Mom, let's go. Come on, I want to go to the library. So really a great job. And LittleGuide Detroit, and Jared, maybe you can bring their website up for us just real quickly. LittleGuide Detroit is an amazing website, and these moms that run this website are truly amazing. And they do a great job of putting together and organizing information for moms and kids alike for things to do. They really have a finger on the pulse of things that are going on in and around Metro Detroit. They have recognized that Lily Pad Springs and a number of other things going on in our community. And feel free to check out this website. It really, Jared's got it there for you. It really is cool. They've got, as you can see, the top kid-friendly things to do in Metro Detroit. Tyler, we need to put on our agenda an opportunity to bring those folks in here and talk to them a little bit more about their website. But the fact that this is a Metro Detroit website and they chose to highlight the efforts of our library and how kid-friendly it is, I don't think we could get higher praise from literally anybody. So congratulations to the West Bloomfield Library. So Tyler, just down the road from the West Bloomfield Library on Walnut Lake Road is Temple Israel. It's going to be an extremely busy day there today, Temple Israel. Why don't you tell folks watching why?
Yeah, the second and fourth Thursday of every month, Temple Israel partners with Forgotten Harvest of Metropolitan Detroit to hold their Fresh Food Pantry. This allows people in need to drive up to Temple Israel to go to their sanctuary portico entrance and receive non-perishable food items and other necessities that they may not otherwise be able to obtain. This is something that's been going on for a number of years, and it had transitioned to be a drive-through event during the COVID-19 pandemic that has persisted. So if you are in need of some food or other necessities, this is a place to go the second and fourth Thursday of every month, including today, 2:45 to 4:45 p.m. at Temple Israel. That is just off of Walnut Lake Road, right before Drake Road, as you're heading into the western part of the township. And again, their sanctuary portico entrance, there will be signage to point you in the right direction. And that's 2:45 to 4:45 p.m. as you're seeing some of our past coverage of that on your screen. That is now what's going on inside of Temple Israel as they're bringing the items to you outdoors and providing that anybody is open in the community to attend this event if they are in need. And again, it is the second and fourth Thursday of every month. So if you're not able to join today, come back around on Thursday, July 27th. That'll be the next time that they hold their Fresh Food Pantry Day.
Let's send Anthony Juba, intern Anthony Juba, over there today to get some video of what's going on outside, because I was aware that they were doing this. And by the way, kudos to Forgotten Harvest. What an amazing organization. And Temple Israel is not the only place in Metro Detroit. There is a schedule. You can go to the Forgotten Harvest website and see all the other locations. They just like everything else at Temple Israel, they just do a really good job with anything they participate in. So when we were there and we were setting up for Michigan Week, for our Michigan Week broadcast, it just happened to be that afternoon, because Michigan Week is on Friday, and it just happened to be one of the Thursdays where this was going on. And I should have filmed some footage that day. I'm like, oh my gosh, they have this thing so well organized. And then there's a zillion cars. They got the parking lot all coned off. I just drive in like, there's not going to be anybody here. And we had to park our car somewhere else. But it's quite a machine. There's a ton of volunteers there. And you're right. They put the drive-through operation in place in COVID, and that have continued to carry on with that. And there are a ton of people that come through there. They count on that food. It's helpful for their survival of their family. And, Tyler, we're going to get into this with some other stories over the next couple of weeks. But just remember, in our community, you don't need to be unemployed to be in need. There are a lot of people in our community and all of our communities around Metro Detroit and all across the country that have people that have jobs, but they're barely making enough money to probably pay their rent. And getting some assistance with food or other essentials for the survival of their family and their kids and themselves is absolutely essential. And so you think, well, if somebody's got a car and they could drive through Temple Israel to get food, well, obviously they got a car. They're not really in that bad of shape. No. Don't think about it that way at all. There are a lot of people that are working here in our community. They have a job, but they still can't make it on a week-by-week basis. This is a great program. Forgotten Harvest is an amazing program, and what's happening at Temple Israel today is fantastic. Hopefully we'll be able to get some video for you and show it to you tomorrow. And I don't think there's any prerequisite to just showing up this afternoon during those hours, Tyler. If you feel you are in need, show up at Temple Israel, and you're going to leave with some really good, nourishing food that's going to make a big difference for you and your family, and put some meals on your table over the next couple of days and weeks, hopefully.
Yeah, and from all indications on the website, there isn't that requirement. But if you do want to call for more information, that phone number, 248-661-5700, 248-661-5700 to get more information from Temple Israel before you go.
All right, very good. So we're going to talk to Patty Narozny in a couple of minutes. But before we do that, Patty, of course, is the amazing, hard-working coordinator of the Orchard Lake Fine Arts Festival that's coming up in Orchard Lake Road, and we have here each and every year. But before we get to that, just a reminder, if you're driving around Keego Harbor, Orchard Lake, Sylvan Lake right now, don't forget about all the road construction. We'll have more coverage on it every day. But of course, as of yesterday, when we were looking at the footage live here on the Splash Live, we had Orchard Lake Road, southbound traffic only, Commerce Lake Road closed, and those people trying to get into that area, jamming up Middlebelt Road south of Orchard Lake Road, and quite long delays. We expect there's some of that continuing to go on. And don't forget that, we've got people coming through this area from the north as well. We just talked about people trying to get through that area from the south, major resurfacing project. But the people in Keego Harbor, and I'm sure Sylvan Lake, I don't know that they've done it officially yet, but certainly Chief Fitzgerald in Keego Harbor is enforcing the protection of the community roads. There should be signs up now in Keego Harbor saying don't cut through these roads during this construction time. It's not safe. The roads, many of the roads in Keego Harbor and Sylvan Lake, even during a normal situation, you almost need to pull over to the side if another car is coming by. They're not really your typical standard width roadway. So the signs are up, the enforcement is there. Don't forget, Keego Harbor and Sylvan Lake have their own local law enforcement officials, and they're not going to want to give you a ticket. But if you're putting the community at risk by taking a shortcut during this construction through one of those neighborhood roads, they absolutely are going to enforce it, and it will be a really good way for you to have to pay a traffic violation. So we don't want to make it any more of a hardship for you than it already is having to travel through that area. But just a friendly reminder from your local television show that and radio show that be careful with all that. Tyler, I know you haven't driven through this. I still haven't driven through this during rush hour. Maybe we can get out there and do that in the next day or so. I'm just trying. I figure that roadway doesn't need even one more car on it. So I've been doing my best to stay away. But the construction is going on, and it's a handful. We just want to make sure that everyone is aware of it, and be respectful of people in the communities.
Yeah, and a really good point was made both earlier on this week by Chief John Fitzgerald and yesterday by West Bloomfield and Tri-City Fire Department Chief Greg Flynn on our show, talking about why some of those traffic orders are in place and why it's not helpful to anybody, including to yourself, to be driving through these neighborhood roads to cut around the traffic. These roads are not designed for a massive amount of vehicles at any time of day. They're certainly not designed for the kind of speeds that people often do drive at on main roads, or as they're trying to cut around traffic and reduce some of that time that they've lost because of construction or because of other delays on the road. And it can be a danger to a lot of families that live in these neighborhoods, especially over the summer when the kids are home, the kids are outside and playing, and going at that kind of a speed, not really paying attention, not being familiar with those roads. A lot of hazards can arise. That's why Keego Harbor has put this traffic order in place. There is no indication at this time that that's been done by Sylvan Lake or it's going to be done. We'll reach out to their team. I'll reach out to City Manager John Martin today, as well as Police Chief Corey O'Donohue, to discuss that and see if there's any plans that they may have to put similar orders in place, Dave.
All right, very good. So we're going to take a break. We'll be back in a minute. And when we return, none other than Patty Narozny. She's a good friend of ours. She is the organizer of the Orchard Lake Fine Art Show coming up in a couple of weeks. One of our great summer celebrations. Everyone loves an art show. We've got one right off Orchard Lake in Maple. We'll tell you all about it and check in with Patty and see how progress is going when we return. Good morning. This is The Splash Live. Dave, Scott, Tyler Kieft, and we'll be right back.
We'll be right back with The Splash Live. Like what you see? Beautiful works of art, masterworks of metal, and accomplishments of artistry will be on display near you. All kinds of artists from all walks of life come together to celebrate their skill and appreciate their work's beauty. HotWorks presents the 2023 Orchard Lake Fine Art Show. Stop by July 29th and 30th between 2 and 10 p.m. between Powers and Daly off of Orchard Lake Road. Watch Civic Center TV with our brand new live captions. To turn on live captions, go to civiccentertv.com and click Watch Live. In your web browser, click on the Options tab in the top right and find the Accessibilities tab. Then just switch on live captions to heighten your enjoyment of our local programming. Thank you so much for watching Civic Center TV. And now, back to The Splash Live.
Welcome back to The Splash Live, Greater West Bloomfield's live daily news and talk show. You can join us every morning at 8:30 for the latest news and information all around the Greater West Bloomfield area. I'm Tyler Kieft alongside Dave Scott as we are getting very close to another one of the favorite summer events here, the premier summer events in the Greater West Bloomfield area. For 20 years, the Orchard Lake Fine Art Show has graced the Greater West Bloomfield area as one of the top 100 juried art shows in all of America right here in our community. And it is returning in just a little while, July 29th and July 30th off of Powers and Daly Road, just off of Orchard Lake Road, the 20th annual Orchard Lake Fine Art Show. Joining us now on the program is Patty Narozny, founder and executive producer of the Orchard Lake Fine Art Show, as well as HotWorks Fine Art and Craft Shows. Patty, thank you as always for joining us.
Hi, Tyler. Good morning. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, glad to have you on. Over 20 years of efforts to put these shows forth, but this is the 20th version of this Orchard Lake Fine Art Show. Tough to believe it's been 20 years of this, Patty, but for you, getting to this benchmark year, how does that feel as the organizer of this and to have seen this kind of growth over 20 shows?
Wow, how time flies, huh? Thank you very much for supporting the show, too, for probably all these years. So we work all year round to bring artists to the show who do not participate in other Michigan shows. So people are going to see great artists from all over the country who come to this event to sell their original and personally handmade art. There's something for everyone in all price ranges.
And the key part there you mentioned, original and handmade art. That is one of the big particulars that you're looking for in artists coming to this show. Everything that you're seeing at the Orchard Lake Fine Art Show year after year has been individually crafted by that artist or by those artists at the show. None of it's imported. None of it is duplicated. It is all done by that artist that you're speaking to. And speak to that, Patty, why that is such a focus for your team at HotWorks as you're putting together this and other art shows across the country.
Well, jury does not mean juried in our art show world. And for us, juried means the artist must be making his or her own work. And the focus is originality. Oh, I see you just showed a picture of one of the tents blown down from a storm we had about 3 years ago, and that happens too. So the focus is originality, technique, execution, and booth appearance as part of jurying. So we have a team of artist professionals who help curate the show to make sure that we work with artists who are making their own work and who are, every piece is original, and we don't want to have someone next to them with import who's buying and selling it. It wouldn't be fair to the artist, and it wouldn't be fair to any of the patrons who attend the event when we call it a juried show.
And it's also something that attracts people both in the greater West Bloomfield community, but also from around Oakland County and the state of Michigan to this show. It's something that I can say from speaking to people that have attended this show over the years, and I'm sure you can also attest to the patrons that come to this show, that buy this art, that attend the show year after year. They appreciate that originality and being able to talk to these artists about the actual process they went into to make this particular piece that they're exploring, yes, or possibly even putting into their homes.
Yes, very important. The patron gets to meet the artist at the show, which is very key. We found out after COVID, or during COVID, I should say, that the computer does not help you, the artists, very much sell their work. Now more than ever, the art shows are more important because of the relationship that is formed between the artist and the patron who attends the event. Patron loves meeting the artist. They hear the history, not only behind the piece, but behind the artist and their life experiences. And as it turns out, many of these artists end up being friends, sometimes called family members, and even stay at the homes of some of the patrons who attend the show. Yes, the word is out that the summer show to go to is the Orchard Lake Fine Art Show, and how we bring artists to this event that you don't see at other shows is in 2006, we expanded into Florida and North Carolina, where we currently have shows in Boca Raton, Naples, in Sarasota, and it's during the winter time. So that's why we work all year round to recruit artists to this event who you won't normally see at other Michigan shows.
Yeah, HotWorks has been named 18 times one of the top 100 art shows in America. That includes the Orchard Lake Fine Art Show and all of other HotWorks shows, as Patty mentioned, across the country all throughout the year. You can learn more information by visiting hotworks.org. Learn more about the Orchard Lake Fine Art Show and all the other shows as you're traveling across the country this summer and all throughout the year. The Orchard Lake Fine Art Show, July 29th and 30th in the heart of West Bloomfield Township on Powers and Daly Road. Those roads, it's literally on those roads. They're closed down for several days. And Patty, this is a big operation that involves a major team, not just from HotWorks, but also from within the township. Talk about that partnership, that continued partnership over the years, and how that really does add to building this show and continuing to make it the prolific art experience that it is every single summer.
Well, if we didn't have West Bloomfield's support behind this event, we wouldn't be back, put it that way. And West Bloomfield has been wonderful to work with. Steve Kaplan, Debbie Binder, Chris Darcy, Chief Patton, Fire Marshal Turnquist, they're all part of the show, and especially with helping keeping this event safe. And not only is West Bloomfield involved, I want to thank the city of Kego. We have Waterford involved, the Road Commission of Oakland County, DTE will be hanging the banners across the road, the Oakland County Health Department. There is just a tremendous amount of support, and the team behind this event with making it a success. It's huge. So thank you very much, West Bloomfield and everyone else, for their support and wanting to have the event back, especially. It's key to have the community not only, support the event, but actually want it back, and the patrons who support the event too. It's very key. We need the artists to be able to sell their work for them to come back. So all of that, all those little details add up to the success of the show.
Joining us on the program today is Patty Narozny, the founder and the executive producer of HotWorks, as well as the Orchard Lake Fine Art Show, as you're seeing on the screen. Mark your calendars, July 29th and 30th, the Saturday show on the 29th, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Sunday, the final day of the show, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. $5 admission for everyone above 13, but 13 and under get in for free. And while we're talking about getting the kids into the art show to see that art and to build their love of art and maybe get an interest in that, I want to also talk about the youth art competition for grades K through 8 and ages 5 through 13. This has become, over the last several years, a key part of your operation at this and other shows. Why is that the case, Patty? What is the purpose of having a youth art competition at this big time art show also?
So very important. To date, we've exposed more than 4,500 students to the entrepreneurship and the rules of doing art shows for a living. And why it's important is I found out that a lot of the artists, they know how to make their work. They don't know how to sell it. They don't know how to display. They don't know how to apply to a professional art show. So not only is it the kids, which is a program that is incorporated into the show to expose them to the rules and entrepreneurship of doing art shows for a living, but we also help new artists get into the show with explaining to them, for example, if their work is there but they're not applying correctly, we spend a lot of time showing them how to submit their images properly for jurying, submit the booth presentation for jurying. So it's just key. We actually have a special guest this year, is a student of ours who's age 15. His name is Nolan, and his whole family is coming to Fort Myers. He's been with us in Florida for 10 years, and he'll be attending the event this year. Recently, at one of our shows in Florida, he sold a piece for over $2,000. So we want to let everyone know it's not too young or too old to get to know, to doing the art shows and to doing your artwork, because it's something that people love to do for a living, which is key to happiness in your life.
And I know that that's a big passion of yours, is helping these artists get to that next step. And really, if they're not able to already have art be that career and that passion of theirs, you're helping to drive that forward. For you, with that and everything else that goes into putting these together, what captures your interest or it captures your heart the most about putting together this art show in the greater West Bloomfield communities, but also all your other ones all across Florida, North Carolina, and around the country?
Well, it's great working with these communities. And again, I want to, thank West Bloomfield. Civic Center TV has been part of it. So it's these long-term relationships that I've been able to build over the last many years. And working with the same people is wonderful. And coming back every year, you have the patrons who approach me at the show. They actually find me, track me down and say, Patty, thanks for bringing this great event to the community. And, that's what matters. And that's what counts the most.
Patty, it's the 20th annual Orchard Lake Fine Art Show. It is Saturday, July 29th and Sunday, July 30th. As you're getting ready for that show coming up at the end of July, anything special planned for this 20th annual event on Orchard Lake, just off of Orchard Lake Road on Powers and Daly?
We want to make sure that everyone knows that we're going to have plenty of food vendors at the event, so please support them too. We have great entertainment. Sheila Landis Trio, One Love Reggae, have been with us for 20 years, and they'll be performing. And we have Detour Band who will be here performing. Ken Mazer is a drummer who we've been working with for 20 years. So a lot of these people, again, it's wonderful to build these relationships and have people coming back year after year. In addition to the great food and entertainment, we just want to have people enjoy the show. We want everyone to know that the $5 admission supports the nonprofit Institute for the Arts and Education, which is a 501c3 nonprofit organization. And it goes back into programs to support, for example, the Youth Art Competition, the Professional Artist Awards, and all the funds go directly back into producing the show and the cost of producing the event. Not only that $5 ticket They'll get either a wristband or a stub to come back anytime throughout the years or throughout the show during the weekend. So if they see something that they love, they want to go home, think about it or measure it, they can go home, do that, and then they can bring their ticket to return. So that's really important for the patrons to know also. Plus, there's plenty of free parking behind Beaumont Medical Center, another community partner of ours. You know, in addition, we want to thank all those local businesses in the area, the post office, West Bloomfield Plaza, who make this event possible by allowing us to come into their neighborhood and move in for 3 days and hopefully not disrupt their businesses so much. We really try to work on working with the community so we don't do that, but just, you know, allow for the great community event to happen. We should let everyone know that Powers and Daly is off of Orchard Lake Road, just south of Maple. And then they can find Beaumont Medical Center between 14 and 15 Mile. And the parking is in the last back half of that lot. So pretend you're going all the way to the back of that building and you're going to drive very conveniently to the entrance of the show. So everything is pretty convenient for this event where there's not a lot of fighting of traffic and having to find a parking spot, and just enjoy the show. And the crowds are not too heavy where you're smushed in between people where you can't breathe. Especially now we have to be concerned still with COVID, which I want to mention. We still have COVID guidelines in place with lots of social distancing. There's room between the booths and plenty of room in the aisleways too, but we actually do the social distancing still, which is extremely important for the COVID guidelines.
A great example of community partnership and a great example of what goes into making a high quality, classy art show. Patty, thank you so much for joining us today.
And thank you, Civic Center TV and West Bloomfield, for having us and for your support of the show.
The Orchard Lake Fine Art Show, the 20th annual Orchard Lake Fine Art Show, happening July 29th and 30th. That's a Saturday and a Sunday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. on July 29th, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. on July 30th. $5 admission, 13 and under get in for free. We'll take a break on the Splash Live. Plenty of more news and information coming up next. You're watching and listening to the Splash Live.
We'll be right back with the Splash Live.
Wondering what to say to someone who's been sexually assaulted or abused?
I believe you. I'm so sorry this happened.
It's not your fault.
Confidential and anonymous help is available at the Michigan Sexual Assault Hotline. Connect with us 24/7. Call 855-VOICES-4 or text 1-866-238-1454 for help. Learn more at michigan.gov/voices4.
I'm an ex-drug dealer, and I'll be your sub today. Two milligrams of fentanyl can be lethal. A lethal dose is in here. Who gets it, I won't know.
It's cheap, it's potent, and it's profitable. The sad reality is fentanyl is being mixed into everything now.
More kitchen now.
And now, back to the Splash Live.
Well, good morning and welcome back to the Splash Live. Dave, Scott, Tyler Kieft, Patty Narozny, what a great update on that amazing event. We're really looking forward to it. Tyler, you know, just when you think you know about all the road construction, there's more. It's just the nature of the season. You go around the next corner and then there is another orange barrel, right? That's certainly the case. Another big major road closure here coming up in our area, this time on the on the east side. Where's it? South side of our communities over in Farmington Hills. Of course, the huge 696 construction project is going on. You're seeing a picture there of 696 at Orchard Lake Road. And anyone who's been trying to drive the 696 thoroughfare this summer knows that that is a long-term project and major construction. But it gets even a little bit worse for us tomorrow morning because Middle Belt, the bridge over 696 at Middle Belt, will close for 3 weeks. weeks. This from the Michigan Department of Transportation. I-696 restore the Ruther Freeway project. Middle Belt Road closing over 696 for 3 weeks. And that is going to kick in tomorrow morning at 9 a.m., beginning at 9 a.m. Friday, July 14th. Middle Belt Road will be closed over 696 for bridge repair work until mid-August. Middle Belt Road will remain open to local traffic only between 11 and 12-mile roads. So the whole Middle Belt run, from 696 all the way up to Orchard Lake Road, it's just a time to be careful. I think you'll be fine between those spots, but Orchard Lake Road up on the north side, 696 on the south side, be aware, lots of construction going on, and that closure may impact some of you as you are traveling around the area. Oakland County Health Department is going to test wastewater for polio. Tyler, bring us up to date on that story.
Yeah, this is an interesting story, Dave. It's something that actually is a little bit of a throwback to the pandemic era where the Oakland County Health Division had for a while tested wastewater and other water sources to find COVID-19, to see some of those hot spots, kind of doing the same thing now with polio. This is a program that began at the federal level back in 2022 after a polio case had popped up among an unvaccinated person in New York. Dr. Russell Faust from the Oakland County Health Division says that the county was chosen to participate in this, particularly because of the reputation of its regional laboratory that has some abilities that are quite rare in the U.S., one of only 6 locations of that kind across the country. It helps these tests will help to detect polio in a generalized area and then caution residents in that generalized area that there may be polio present in their community. And if they're not vaccinated, then be prompted to say, hey, you can come down to the Oakland County Health Division's Oakland Health Center, as you see on the screen, at 1200 North Telegraph Road, Building 34, or going to Southfield, 27725 Greenfield Road. Both locations, 8:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Monday and 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Tuesday through Friday to get free polio vaccinations. Polio is not eradicated, but it is something that you can prevent having severe or even minor cases of by being vaccinated.
Meanwhile, the West Bloomfield Parks Department has a new program, Tyler. They call it Green Dream. Our friends at WB Parks always on the lookout for what can be done to help preserve our environment and protect wildlife. Announced they'll share ideas on living greener each month as part of their new Green Dream program. And for July, they're going to talk about plastic-free living. Why plastics are harmful, according to the West Bloomfield Parks and Recreation Department. They don't break down into tiny particles, or they do break down into tiny particles. They can be toxic and contaminate the soil. And we all know that plastics are really a problem. They enter the food chain when animals digest those little particles. And one of the top 10 plastic items in beach are straws. So we've all been talking about the straw thing for a while. Many people have just taken their one little step. And it's one thing that you can do at the encouragement of the West Bloomfield Parks Department this month is don't use a plastic straw. Go to the, I know the old traditional paper straws are not quite as strong and durable. More people are going to those metal straws. Why not have a metal straw just like you got a fork and a knife? So think about that. Good nod, or our nod to the West Bloomfield Parks Department for doing everything they can to keep our environment for generations to come. Big night tonight in Sylvan Lake, Tyler, as the Sill Sunsets concert continue this evening. Did I say that right? That is a tongue twister. The Sill Sunset concert tonight in Sylvan Lake. Share the details if you would.
Yeah, Kathleen Murray is going to be the featured artist. Soul Commission featuring Detroit's very own Kathleen Murray. This is going to be a concert at the Community Center, 7 o'clock to 9 p.m. tonight. You can join them out there for another night out on the town. This is completely community driven. This concert series, donations help to support the artists and to put this show on each and every week. And you can always check in on Facebook in the Sylvan Lake What's Going On group or in the Spirit of Sylvan group as well if you're a resident to find more information, and also on their Cans for Concerts donation drive. You provide some cans to the organizers. They submit them at the local grocery store, and that helps to fund some of these concerts.
So I was going to go to the Oakland County Fair last night, Tyler, and I really wimped out because it was raining a little bit, a little drizzly, and I had have a friend who's got a very small farm in Oakland County and is all about the Oakland County Fair. He was there. His daughter was participating. He was involved, and it was a big night because last night was the rodeo night. And I haven't been to a rodeo forever. I should have gone, should have shot video, didn't make it. Don't let that happen to you. Tonight is the last night of the fair. We got great video here. So get out, enjoy. Actually, you got tonight and tomorrow night. Forgive me. Fair runs through Friday, if I have the information correct. And next year, we're going to go to the rodeo and shoot the rodeo because that would have been an awful lot of fun. But the thought of the rodeo and all of the rodeo byproducts and all of the other mud and rain last night was enough to have me stay home and watch the news. So I didn't quite make it out there, but don't you make that same mistake tonight. If you're not going to Sylvan Lake, go up to the Oakland County Fair. You will have an awful lot of fun. And for our final story of the morning, one of our West Bloomfield High School seniors, one of the stars of the football program, Tyler, I think is doing an extremely classy thing here. Why don't you tell our audience about it?
Yeah, Jamir Benjamin is a cornerback for the West Bloomfield Lakers, one of the key parts of that secondary in 2023 and over the last couple of years. He had previously recommitted to a different university. He had been committed at Stanford, but ultimately decided to, after a coaching change had happened there and their coaching staff had retired and been replaced, to recommit just a couple months ago to Northwestern University out of the Chicagoland area. And now, of course, there's been some controversy of late. Their head coach, Pat Fitzgerald, has been dismissed as of earlier on this week due to allegations of hazing and other forms of assault that have happened in that program over several years of his tenure. He alleges he doesn't know about it. He didn't know about it, but nonetheless, a coaching change at Northwestern. Jamir Benjamin coming out this week saying he is not going to decommit from Northwestern. He is staying as a Wildcat. He will remain committed to Northwestern to play there. And, you know, Dave, he goes from one university, Stanford, that is known for being a great educational community as well, to another one in Northwestern. This is a 4.0 student. Academics certainly playing a role in this, but also a chance to be an impact player on a Big Ten football team.
Well, but just think of what a classy young man this is. I mean, he's gone through this twice now, and there is turmoil at Northwestern. There's going to be a new coach in there. He's going to have to go through all that. And he says, no, look, man, I committed to going to school there. I'm going to stay there. I'm going to live up to my commitments. And in big time athletics at the college level, that's really impressive because we, especially now with the way the NCAA rules are working, we're seeing a lot of movement from program to program. He very easily, under those circumstances, could have said, no, I think I'm going to go somewhere else. But he is living up to his commitment, and I salute him. And we are going to have a lot of fun. Gives us a chance here to just remind everybody that Laker football is going to be huge this year. We'll have all of the games. We're making all the preparations. And Tyler, you're going to be calling Mr. Benjamin's name quite a bit this year as the Lakers go for the gold one more time and try to find their way to the state championship.
Yeah, he's going to be an impact player on this team, and he's a guy that is a great locker room guy, a great team guy as well, expected to be one of the leaders in the locker room for the Lake Show this year.
All right, very good. Well, thank you very much for watching The Splash today. Wow. We started out the show this morning, and I didn't know that we really had enough content for you to get through the entire day. We've got obviously a lot more time with you today, and we got plenty of content. We are very busy. There's so much going on in our community, from activities, from fairs to concerts tonight, to art fairs coming up, to road construction in Keego Harbor, or more road construction that's going to impact our community on 696 and Middlebelt Road and the other side of Middlebelt, and on and on and on. Thank you very much for watching. We hope that you check the show out each and every day. We begin at 8:30. Show continues to run until 1 o'clock in the afternoon. You can watch it on Civic Center TV. You can watch it on social media and listen to us on the radio right here on 89.3 Lakes FM.